Hey there, everyone. How are you doing today? So, as we head into the weekend, I wanted to let you know about a topic that I'm starting to think about, looking at the data and seeing if the following is true. And it's a really odd mix of, I don't know, call it economic oddities. One is, could we see a double dip recession? And the other one is, could we see a double dip recession and actually have housing prices rise into the end of the year? And I think as we sit here today talking, the 24th of July, I think both of those are certainly possible, and one of them is very likely and certain. So let's have this discussion. I'm having it with you because I'm still trying to internalize it. What's it mean? How do I invest in it? What do I do? Love to hear from you. What do you think? So again, let's break them into two parts. First, the double dip recession. So it feels like what is going on is the consumer is starting to retrench, pull back. There was clearly surge buying, pent up demand, people bored out of their minds staying home in June. June was a remarkable difference from April and May. Based on all the Q2 earnings announcements, April has proven to be historically the bottom of demand for retailers and restaurants and credit card companies. They're highlighting April as the bottom. Then they saw the surge in May and in June, June being the peak. What they're all starting to talk about is July, which is the month we're in, is starting to soften, starting to weaken. If this continues, if the consumer can continually get bombarded with case numbers and shutdowns in major cities, if not major states, the consumer is going to retrench again. And, surge buying, pent up demand, that's been done, right? I'm thinking back to school shopping. How many webcams do you need? How many new PCs do you need? How many new whatever to get your kid ready to learn online for the first half of next year? It is really starting to feel like we could see a double dip recession, especially if California, which is the state I reside in, continues to go backwards. Florida continues to go backwards. Texas also. The South and the West are seemingly on a slippery slope, and with the population, and I think somebody said, and I don't remember, but California by itself would be the sixth or seventh largest economy. So if you take California out, it's hard to see how we don't suffer a double dip recession together. Plus, the other thing that I am watching is it really feels like this event is causing consumer behavior to fundamentally change. And part of that is back to our second point, which is real estate. But let's talk about something else first, and that is on luxury. Luxury retail did see a surge, pent up demand. China called it revenge buying. That happened here also. But it didn't happen at the numbers that we would maybe have thought pre-health event. And it certainly doesn't feel like that is going to be a common thing going forward, right? Do you need to spend big money on shoes and clothes and purses and cell phones and this and that and the other if all you're doing is working from home? I see American savings. And yes, we can all crack jokes about the average American can't save 400 or 600 or whatever dollars. I believe that is fundamentally changing. I think another thing that could cause a double dip recession is if the stimulus plan or the fourth one or fifth one is not big enough. The bridge we've had in the first half clearly is because of the $1,200 stimulus was very helpful. And most importantly, the unemployment benefits. It caused people to pay rent. It helped them feed their family. Yes, it helped them save. Yes, it helped them spend money on stupid things. But that is maybe come to the end. And we'll see what happens in early August. It doesn't sound like a deal will come together in July. So I believe the consumer confidence is going to be hit. And as a channel, as a person who's talked about this for 20 years, I'm really focused on the consumer. I think the consumer psychology is fragile. We were getting more confident and then we took another punch, right? We got off the mat, we're coming back, we get hit again and we fall down. The other thing that I think is happening is we are seeing a really fast migration to the suburbs, faster than I thought possible. People are exiting high-rise cities, which is causing those locations to have record vacancies, rental rate drops, but is also causing crazy housing inventory levels. We saw new home numbers, 770 in a month. So that's the second thing is, first, I think we will have, unfortunately, a double dip recession. I think a lot of what we saw in May and June was surge or pent up demand. And unfortunately, consumers are being clocked and hit again. The unemployment number last Friday was scary, or yesterday. What is today? Yeah, yesterday, Thursday was scary because it went up. It's only a single week, but it's not a trend you or I want to see. But that said, I think real estate prices could rise. I think what is happening today is new and different. I think we're seeing a lot of Class A apartment tenants, millennials, for lack of a better term, who were very, very happy being renters, right? Flexibility, they can move, all of that stuff we've heard about for years. Now they're saying, you know what? We need to go buy our first home. We need a backyard. Shoot, we need a front yard. We need a garage. We need a place to do our Zoom calls and teach our kids, and we need space. I'm hearing more and more every day about places 2-3 hours away from New York or San Francisco. No listings going over, gone in 24 hours. So it seems odd to say that we could go into a double dip recession, and yet housing is very strong. It's weird, right? But I think it's because the consumer and the buyer is changing. We're seeing this crisis change people. And even if we go from 11% to 15% unemployment, let's not forget that that's still 85% of the folks are employed. That's a lot of people that could buy a home, especially when supply is so low. So it feels really odd to say. It feels really bad to say, frankly, that I think the US could have a double dip recession. I think the consumer is trying to figure it out, not very confident, which is going to cause people to save. There's clearly a movement to space is good, even faster than I expected. And we have no supply. So it's really, I mean, tell me if my logic is wrong. I'd love to hear from you. But I think the economy in general is in trouble. A bright spot is going to be single family homes. Because while we will have some markets, New York, San Francisco are the greatest examples that suffer, most of the US will be fine. It's the suburbs. Live here, work anywhere. And yeah, I mean, I'm playing with this a lot. It's probably what I think about the most right now is, wow, could we really have a double dip recession and still have prices go up 10%? I think it's possible. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. I got to get ready for my real estate talk here in an hour or so. Thanks. Bye.